A signal is a measurable quantity that carries information about something changing in time. Human speech, a room temperature, and the voltage across a capacitor are all signals. Mathematically, a signal is modeled as a function of an independent variable, and that variable is usually time. The signal used throughout this lesson is a single sinusoid whose magnitude never exceeds 1. The parenthesized form gives the value the signal takes at a chosen instant. The value a signal takes at one instant is called its magnitude. This record carries a value at every instant between its two ends, and it has no gaps anywhere. A system is an entity that processes one set of signals and produces another set. The definition is deliberately wide, and almost every physical device satisfies it. The signals fed into a system are called its input signals. The signals it produces are called its output signals. A resistor and capacitor circuit, a microphone, and a thermometer are all systems in this sense. Every lesson in this series treats a single input, a single output, and time as the only independent variable. The first division among signals concerns which instants carry a value at all. A signal defined for every value of the time variable is called a continuous time signal. A signal defined only at selected instants is called a discrete time signal. Reading the waveform at instants a fixed distance apart produces 1, and the distance chosen for this lesson is 1/4 of a second. The chosen instants are the whole multiples of that spacing, counted from the start of the record. 9 readings cover the first 2 seconds, and between any two of them nothing is recorded at all. A discrete time signal needs a notation of its own. The bracketed form names the reading whose index is the whole number inside the brackets. The brackets are not a product. The form does not mean one quantity multiplied by another. Each whole number names exactly one reading of the signal and nothing else. The reading with a given index is the value the continuous signal takes at that many spacings from the start. The reading of index 2 equals 1, and the reading of index 4 equals 0. Every one of the 9 readings can be written down exactly. Substituting the sampling instance into the sinusoid gives a formula in the index alone. The first 3 readings are 0, 1 over the square root of 2, and 1. The next 3 are 1 over the square root of 2, 0, and minus 1 over the square root of 2. The last 3 are minus 1 over the square root of 2, and 0. The dashed curve is everything the 9 readings no longer carry. The second division among signals concerns the magnitudes a signal is allowed to take. A signal whose magnitude may be any number in its range is called analog, and a single magnitude can then require endlessly many digits. The reading 1/4 of a second in equals 1 over the square root of 2, whose decimal expansion never terminates. An ambient temperature is analog for the same reason, since recording it precisely would take an unending string of digits. A signal restricted to finitely many magnitudes is called digital, and the restriction falls on magnitude rather than on time. A finite list of allowed magnitudes turns the readings into a digital signal. The list in use has 5 entries, evenly spaced across the range of the waveform. Each reading is replaced by whichever entry of the list lies nearest to it. The second reading is 1 over the square root of 2, and the nearest allowed value is 1/2. Every reading is treated the same way, and 5 of the 9 were already allowed values, so those 5 do not move at all. No reading can move by more than half the spacing between neighboring entries of the list, and that bound holds for any uniform list and any signal. A compact disc uses 65,536 allowed values, so on a real recording, each reading moves by less than a single screen pixel. Sampling and quantizing act on different axes, so the 2 divisions are independent of each other. One axis of the table is time, and the other is magnitude. The original waveform is continuous in time and analog in magnitude, and it fills the upper left cell. Sampling alone leaves the magnitudes untouched and gives a discrete time analog signal. Sampling and quantizing together give a discrete time digital signal, which is what a recording actually stores. Quantizing alone leaves a signal that is defined at every instant and still holds one of finitely many values. That fourth case is real. So the word digital names a restriction on magnitude and nothing more. Only the lower right cell is both. A third division turns on whether the value at an instant is a single definite number. At every instant, a deterministic signal takes one definite value and nothing else. A rule or a table of measurements fixes what that value is, and the sinusoid of this lesson is fixed by its formula. A random signal has no single value at an instant. Its value may be any number in a range, and each part of that range carries a probability. Means and standard deviations describe that range in place of a formula, so a random signal is not a signal without structure. The thermal noise generated by a resistor is random because it depends on the motion of billions of electrons. Every lesson that follows treats deterministic signals. One waveform has produced 3 different records of the same event. The original is continuous in time and analog in magnitude. Sampling produced a discrete time analog record. Quantizing that record produced a discrete time digital one. Sampling discards the times between the readings. Quantizing discards the digits below the level spacing, and each of the 2 choices throws away something different.